If you'll allow me to do stunts here, stand on my head, maybe I can grab this photograph and I can kind of hold this in the tray.
Yes.
Although it's not shiny as it was when it was new, you can clearly see at the first time these so-called zoning enforcement agents had come out and trespassed on my land without a warrant to stick a notice up here. They could not have put it up there without trespassing. They had to walk blatantly, just arrogantly past that no trespass sign.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did is they claimed they had a pretext of a public safety threat, a danger to the public. Well, the public doesn't live in my house. This is private property,
Yes.
and it was posted prominently to instruct anybody of that.
Yes.
Anyone with eyes to see and ears can hear can easily see that this car here is facing with the front out, and this car here, when they came to get it, is with the back out. Now, this so-called zoning official, public response officer, zone enforcement agent, D. Holmes, and others, false testified in his affidavit, which he was incompetent to testify to anyway because he has a vested financial employment, other pecuniary, and likely other special financial interest in the outcome of this particular event scenario. In fact, I strongly suggest that the strong signature, that means a very strong appearance of criminality to the event, that someone has induced by bribing, offering a reward, a compensation, a bonus, a spiff, or other consideration, or perhaps some of these individuals themselves are getting kickbacks for stealing classic antique cars from what they deem to be incompetent and easy to prey on senior citizens. Right. I assure you they've misassessed this.
That's right. And
Sun Tzu's Arts of War tells you, one, you better know your victim or enemy. One man's victim is another man's enemy, right?
That's right, Chris.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Where are your cars at right now, Chris?
Well, you might notice I actually still have this 1957-56 Dodge D500 two-door hardtop electric convertible Hemi with dual antennas whipping in the wind. Also a hemispherical powered car that my dad restored prior to his death a few years ago, and that's one of the hereditary things that he left me. Now, this one here, he also bought one of these brand new at the Detroit plant back in 1957. It flew up there, but it was black and gold, the one he bought. And I've heard stories from that from the time I was young.
So you got one of your cars back, or do you?
Well, they never took the 56.
Okay.
It was parked on the side. It was on a trailer.
Okay.
All right, and it's never been registered in the state. Now this is we're deviating from the story. I don't know if we've got time for that, but we can do other shows later on if you want to. I'll tell you about some of the complexities of the legal system and how they think they own your property. The things they do to trick you into surrendering your property in the guise of registration. Nevertheless, I had pulled over there, I had held out my arms, I had told the officers, if they wanted to murder me, go ahead and pull the trigger, and like Laboa Hennecum. We also know about the Chris Dorner case. They gaslighted Chris Dorner. They created false evidence about him. They put out the false story that he was a threat to society and danger and going to kill people and going to go mad. What it was he had discovered corruption in the LAPD. In fact, I brought an article for you might want to put in there about LAPD and their district attorneys being disqualified from cases down there. This has been a habitual, ongoing problem with law enforcement agencies where they subvert and pervert the legal system to their own predatory and rapacious advantage and use it to prey on innocent victims, to frame the blame on people, to grind political access against their enemies or people that have things that they want. Maybe they like their wife, maybe they like their car, their house, their boat, their motorcycle. Who knows what their motivation is? There are many different perverse lusts that can motivate men to do ill and evil things. And these are, just some of them. It's very, very dangerous to have these subjective, interpretive opinions inserted as facts in a case by somebody that has a fiduciary interest, which is precisely why lawyers and officers of the court and employees of the corporation are not able to be witnesses except if something actually involved themselves that they could actually testify to.
Yes.
And then they would have to do so in their non-official capacity as an employee or an agent of a corporation. It'd be in their private personal persona exclusively.
Yes.
Other than that, they're incompetent to be a witness. The cases that tell you that are Trinity versus Pagliaro, Holt versus U.S., U.S. versus Lovasco, and there's a host of others that tell you that attorneys are not. You got a question?
Yes.
Question or anything?
No.
All right. Sorry about that.
No.
So when an incompetent witness makes out an affidavit, it makes it a Grobo affidavit or a false affidavit. That's a perjured affidavit because they're not competent, because they're testifying to facts they don't have first-hand competent knowledge of.
Yes.
In fact, these particular individuals alleged they could drive by, being there in commerce, because they're actually on the roadways getting paid for their labor and supposedly protecting the public's interest by looking on private property. Well, the only way to come on private property is with the consent of the owner,
The owner. Absolutely.
the acquiescence or agreement, and they must, other than that, if there's some exigent condition that really has a danger that's truly imminent, why didn't they do something in the first place instead of waiting 6 months? The first one I got was back in May. I sent letters and stuff, but they never answered the letters. I demanded proofs of claim, proofs of the contract they allege to have that gives their private foreign corporation, their administrative agency, any power and authority over me, the live, living, flesh and blood man. I did this in a lawful notification letter, demand for proof of claim, demand for production of the contract, demand for proof of where I had agreed to any of this stuff, and they never provided anything. They like to pretend like we're dead corporate fictitious entities and they can't hear us.
That's right.
But I know that I'm not one of those. I've provided them affidavits, which are lawful affidavits, which they must be rebutted point by point, or they stand as truth and fact and law and evidence.
Chris, if you can, and this is so important that the people are hearing this, we're running out of time, but I would like to have you back if it's possible, because I would like to continue to talk to you about this case. We're not going to let this go, and other topics. There are other unconstitutional things that are going on in our country, and I would love to have you back if you can. Friday, you would be my guest, and again, we would like to do a show and just talk about some of the unconstitutional things and other things that you would like to talk about. If you could make it here Friday, I would love that.
Well, I'm really being a servant to the Creator. I'm a watchman on the wall, Ezekiel 33. I have a duty to the people to guard, protect, defend, and to wake up America right now, to warn them of the dangers and hazards of the slow creep, in fact, the escalating exponentially fast creep of communism inserting its ugly nose into American life.
That's what's going on. Absolutely. This is a patriot right here, and we are going to have him on again as Friday if he would be so honored to do our show again. You've been watching Chris Garcia, the conservative American, and I told you, you will always get the truth here. We are on Monday through Friday, 1 to 1:30. If you'd like to call in Pacific time, 1 to 1:30, 702-983-0711. We're going to have Chris back Friday, and if you'd like to call in and talk to him live on the air about some things that are going on that happened to you, maybe your property was seized unconstitutionally, unlawfully. I'm sure that's right. I'm sure Chris would like to talk to you. So Friday he will be our guest at 1 o'clock on Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. If you would like to Google me and leave any comments, you can call my Google personal number. That is 702-751-9955. And you can leave comments, and I will get back to you. And thank you so much.
If I might, Chris, before you go.
Yes.
If there's a bench or some competent assistance of counsel out there, like Draco and Raskovich,
Yes.
or others that are competent in law, that understand the Constitution. The Clive and Bundy case, I should be able to tell you the guy's name. I'll know it when I come next time.
All right.
If they wanted to contact you, contact me, or if people have questions, or they've been victimized by these zoning officials stealing their private property,
Yes.
have them contact you, put them in contact me,
Yes.
and we may put a mini class action lawsuit together as the people holding those bad public servants to accountability.
You heard it here first. God bless America. God bless our troops, especially tomorrow. Don't forget, December the 7th, the 75th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. And Godspeed to our President-elect, Donald Trump. I will see you tomorrow.